Healing is God's will. This has been something I've heard many say. Lord, if it be your will, in order to have faith for your healing, it is important to get it settled in your heart that healing and health are God's will for us. This doesn't mean that we will always receive the healing that we want, because in this article we will see that there are things which can hinder our healing. My point is simply that the New Testament never says that it is God's will for a person to remain sick or injured or disabled, but instead the New Testament consistently shows that healing and health are God's will for us. For example, notice that while Jesus was on the earth, God the Father was accomplishing His will through Jesus. Jesus answered, "Don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Don't you believe that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me? The words I say to you are not just my own. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing His work." John 14:9-10. As you repeat this passage out loud several times, think about what it means. It means that when we see Jesus doing things in the Bible, those things are God's will. People sometimes wonder whether or not healing and health are God's will for us. So let's look at how Jesus answered this question. A man with leprosy came and knelt before Him and said, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out His hand and touched the man. "I am willing," He said, "be clean." Immediately he was cured of his leprosy. Matthew 8:2-3. As you repeat this passage out loud, think about this. Was Jesus willing to heal back then? Yes. Therefore, it was God's will to heal people back then. But is Jesus still willing to give us healing today? Yes. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Hebrews 13:8. As you repeat this passage out loud, binding faith for your healing, let it sink in that Jesus does not change. He was the healer back then, and He is still the healer today. Jesus does the will of God the Father, so healing and health are God's will for us. Sometimes a healing might happen instantly, and sometimes you will need to exercise patience until you see the healing, and sometimes you might not receive healing at all for one reason or another. Later, we'll see some reasons why. Remember that Jesus healed everyone who wanted healing, which shows that healing and health are God's will for everyone. There is not a single case in the New Testament where anyone who wanted divine healing did not receive it, and there is not a single case where a person was told that his sickness was for the purpose of building character in him, and there is not a single case where sickness was called a blessing, and there is not a single case where a sick person who wanted healing was left unhealed for any reason. This includes Lazarus, because Jesus resurrected him back to life and health, and there is not a single case where God used a sickness to bring someone home to heaven, and there is not a single case where a person was told that it was not God's will for him to be healed, and there is not a single case where Jesus said that sickness glorifies God. It is healing that glorifies God, and there is not a single case where Jesus said that God had put sickness on someone to punish him or to chastise him, and there is not a single case where Jesus told people to be patient in sickness, and so on. The point here is that Jesus healed everyone who came to him for healing, and he is the same yesterday and today and forever. Let it sink into your heart. Let it become real to you that healing and health are God's will. Get this settled in your heart so that you have faith for your healing.